Alright, we're going to do a quick video here on how to teach Junior here how to convert a disc brake or a drum brake master cylinder to a disc brake application.
Yeah, we'll come around this way so
you going to be on that side now?
I think I'll be able to see better right
I got to turn the other way. This is very technical how to do this. I have to put my foot on the other side of the counter and everything. Your feet get in the way. Now you can kick in the shins though. So
yeah.
Okay, this is a Tucker master cylinder they don't make anymore. Probably a discontinued item because it's old. Vintage stuff. Hey, turn my light off.
How'd I do that?
Oh, this stupid light out here is probably screwed up the camera. You didn't say anything. Now it's going to get hot in here because it's hot outside.
Turn the light back on. There you go.
There you go. Now you can see. Oh, with staples. Okay, so make sure you don't tear your bag up before you throw it away. Appears to have a staple in there to get you, make it bleed. Alright, so this is one of them genuine made in Taiwan. So this is not this is almost like a Taiwan teddy car, but not quite. It's not made in China, so it's a good sign. Okay, this is a warning label. Make sure you read that.
Use only .5.
Yeah, you were having problems finding that, you said.
Yeah, .5's tough to come by these days.
It's right over there on the shelf. Yeah, it's hard to come by.
Sold here at Tatro machine.
Except you went and bought it somewhere else.
Oh.
Okay, now in order to make this thing do that, you're going to take this apart. Now this is a 79 and earlier device. Being drum brake, it's 72 and earlier. We're going to make it into a 73 to 79 part. We need a Phillips screwdriver. That's not a Phillips screwdriver. That appears to be a Phillips screwdriver. We need some smaller screwdrivers though. Where are the small ones? Is that smaller?
No. It looks like somebody went through your tools. Oh, here, yeah, does that work?
There's a Phillips. Alright, you got a straight blade version of that in there somewhere? We're getting here. Oh, the ghost is opening my door behind me. I don't see no screwdriver, sir. What'd you do with a screwdriver?
I didn't do anything with the screwdriver.
Oh, there you go. Let's use that one. Okay, this is called a standard screwdriver. This is called a Phillips screwdriver. This requires that you pop this off, so you need a standard screwdriver. To take the load off, you need a Phillips screwdriver to go in that round hole in there. So you jam it down like this. See how it went down? Then you take the clip out and you poke it and you hit you right in the face. That way I don't have to look at it anymore. Appears I'm on the wrong side, but that's okay. Appears to be stubborn. Heck, I can see better.
I'm trying to get like the...
Well, I'm trying to get it to come out. If you squeeze it a little bit, it'll come out. So you have to squeeze the clip, or you take those flat blade pliers that were in there, those blue ones right there. Once you had it up, you could have pulled on the thing. You could have grabbed that sucker by its throat and yanked it this way, and that would have unhooked the back corner. Instead, I did it the other way. I used a screwdriver to wedge it out. Okay, so this is your clip. This is your retaining washer. This is your piston. Now, when you adjust your brake, you want to make sure that this piston goes all the way up against this washer. If it sticks in here like that, then these holes in here do not get uncovered, so the air cannot get in. The brake fluid cannot return, so it leaves the brake on. And as you heat up the rear brake, the brake's dragging, it expands the brake fluid, and it makes the brake come on more because it can't return, because you didn't release the pressure on the backside. When you move the piston all the way back, then it uncovers that little dinky little hole right there and lets the fluid come back. And that relieves the pressure in your system. So when you got sticky brakes, go in there and make sure this is returning all the way, and make sure it hits the snap ring. Or in this case, hits the washer, because the snap ring's right behind the washer. So you have to adjust your pedal for your free play in there. Very important. Okay, there's your cup. See it in there?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you don't put nothing sharp in there to damage it. So I'm not using anything sharp, see? So it goes in backwards like that, so pressure expands it and seals. If you put it like that, the pressure collapses it and it'll leak right past that O-ring. So if you have a leaky master cylinder externally, this O-ring is leaking. If you have a leaky master cylinder internally, this one's leaking. If they both leak, you have a big mess everywhere. Okay, the spring is in there. The spring is a little protective sleeve to protect the inside of the boot. Otherwise it pokes a hole right through that. I've seen that done. Now, being a drum brake application, we have another part in here, see? Way up in there.
That part right there?
That's called, not a portion valve, but a pressure residual valve. That keeps about 2 to 5 pounds of pressure in your brake system for a drum brake that keeps the shoes
Open? Or
out slightly.
Yeah.
So when you push on the pedal, they just come out a little bit and they work. If they go all the way against the stop, you hit the pedal, you got to take all that distance out before it does it. On the disc brake application, that means the brakes are dragging. So you do use those sometimes if you have special application problems, like stuff that don't work right. Now there's another washer way deep in there. It's a sealing washer. You can either leave it in or take it out, it doesn't matter. See how the screwdriver's too short?
Mm-hmm.
That means it doesn't work.
So you need a longer one?
You need a longer one.
Well, that's too big though, right? Or is it?
I don't know.
Will that work?
It fit in the hole.
Huh?
I think it worked.
Well,
There's your washer. Now, the reason it's rubber coated is because this seals against it. That's what holds the pressure in. Now you can leave it in there because, see, it still has a hole through it. It'll still work. It just makes the tension a little bit stiffer on the return pedal. So it's a way of making more pressure instead of stretching the spring. But that's best easy to take this stuff out. You can take this and bag it up and put it on Chopper Swapper or Instatur or some other stupid messenger board, and you can sell that to your panhead guy that needs drum brakes. Because when he buys his disc brake master cylinder, he's going to need that. Or if he's cheap and picks up a used one off an FX, he'll need that too. Otherwise, his brakes won't work very well. So, now is the inside out nice and clean, or do we got to clean it?
looks like there's some gunk in there.
So is your finger clean?
What? My finger's not. My finger was already dirty, but.
That's why I asked if your finger was clean before you stuffed it in the bore.
Oh well, too late.
Because then I would say wipe your finger off before you stuffed it in the bore. See, my finger's not clean. My rag is almost clean.
It's cleaner than your finger.
I don't think my finger will fit in there. Let's go with this finger. That's why I have more than one finger. You notice how this finger is cleaner than this finger?
You can't have one moderately clean finger at all times.
I don't feel no grit in there. Appears to be some residue assembly fluid in there, but not dirt. So that means we're good to go. So you put that back in. You put this back in. Make sure you put it straight. You have to wiggle around to get it to go over that lip without tearing it. If you tear up that lip, it doesn't work. Then you put this in there. And you put your washer in there. And you got a sharp edge and a dull edge. Sharp edge goes down or up?
Sharp edge would go down, right?
It goes up.
Oh.
Hits against the snap ring. Phillips works better than straight blades. So you push that in there like that. Don't forget to put this on there. Now you gotta try to put this snap ring back in while you're trying to hold a master cylinder and do everything else too. So how easy that's doing, it's moving all over the place on you. Like how it makes pirouette moves on you. So you want to try to get these titties to go in there. And so you got to push this in here. The flat blade.
There you go.
It's probably not the correct tool, but it works if you know what you're doing. And see how it returns freely?
Mm-hmm.
Now you have it. What kind of master cylinder you got now?
Disc brake master cylinder.
Disc brake master cylinder.
Rear brake master cylinder.
Rear brake master cylinder. If you had a real bike, you would understand that you need to have rear brakes that work, because there is no front brakes.
On mine?
No, on his bike.
Oh.
On real Harley, they don't have front brakes. Whether there's a drum up there or not, they still don't work, so you have no brakes. So now when you put your booty in there, you should always check your plate without the booty on there, because see, the booty gives you a false number. You can't tell where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take the booty back off, shove it back on your push rod, and then see you can have clearance. See that clearance right there?
Mm-hmm.
Now that's with no clearance. Now if you had it like this, see the gap between the washer and the piston? That means
Yeah.
you're not returning all the way. That means your brake could be sticking. Now at that point it might still work. At that point it probably won't work. See, you're about 50 thou in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at that point it's probably covering the hole up. So you gotta make sure you have at least against that way, and then just a little clearance. Not much, just something that wiggles around a little bit. That's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have this much. If you got this much, you got long pedal travel. You don't need to be that loose, just almost there. And then after you get it adjusted, then you shove your booty back up on here, like that. Now we're not going to show them the nose picker because, see, that's a secret tool. You have to go watch a video to see that. So you got to kind of wiggle around a little bit.
There you go.
With an old boot, you need a nose picker. With a new one, you can get away without it. All right, you can figure that out now?
Yeah.
Now you know you have to put fluid in here before it'll work.
Yeah.
What kind of fluid?
Dot 5.
It says right on the instructions.
Use dot 5 only.
We can put it so you can read it.
Dot 5 only.
Wait, follow directions? No.
Oh, you have to read. There's no pictures.
Well, then I'm screwed.
So that's your work shirt there, huh?
Yes.
Tatro machine. There you go.
Alright.
Got that appropriate work shirt.
I figured, I put on I was all dressed up.
Mine are
for the stupid
tested.
part.
They get holes in them. All right, there you go. Now you know how to convert your drum brake part to a disc brake part.
Alright.